If he was smart, he would know what I was up to, and he would turn me over to the bar and appeal his case on the basis of ineffective assistance of counsel. I could certainly lose my license if I did everything to him that I wanted to. No, if I was going to sabotage him, it would have to be subtle. It would have to be so subtle that there wouldn't be any way that he could possibly know what I was doing. That was going to be difficult, but not impossible. "Harper," Tammy said. "What's going on?" I sighed. "You remember me telling you about a Michael Reynolds?" I shuddered, just saying his name out loud. Tammy sat down. "I think so. You mentioned something about him one time, although I forget the context." "Yes, I'm sure I probably told you something about him. I don't think that I gave you the entire story, though. I haven't told anybody the whole story." Tammy looked worried. "What is the whole story? And why are you talking about him now? What is bringing him up for you?" "He's coming in today. I don't know, he's been accused of a crime. Pearl said that he called about a murder charge and he wants me to represent him. I'm not at all sure what the facts are about this, though." "I can tell you," she said, picking up a newspaper. "I knew that his name sounded familiar when you first said it to me. Here." She handed me the newspaper. "Front page." I groaned. Another high-profile case. I was lucky with Heather, in that the media seemed to lose interest in her case, after initially being all over it. As I read the article in the paper, however, it seemed that I wasn't going to be so lucky this time. Michael Reynolds was the son-in-law of a federal district court judge. Said judge, whose name was Robert Sanders, was shot dead in his home. The article indicated that a random intruder was initially suspected to be the murderer, but that Michael Reynolds, Sanders' own son-in-law, was arrested for the crime. "This is a big deal," I said, reading the story. "A federal judge is murdered and this Michael guy is the lead suspect? The reporters are going to be crawling on this one." I questioned my motivation for taking this case. I spun around in my chair, realizing that I was going to have to be above board with this one after all. Since the media was going to be all over this case, I wasn't going to be able to maneuver the way that I wanted to. I wondered if I should just call him back and tell him not to bother. I couldn't quite understand why he called me, anyhow. Why me, out of all the attorneys he could hire? "So tell me about Michael. You were saying something about him." I felt the anxiety, the cold tendrils that I always felt when I thought about this guy, and shook my head. Nothing. I knew him in college, that's all." "That's not all," Tammy said. "There's something on your mind about this guy. I can sense it. I can see it on your face. You're as white as a sheet." "I need to see my therapist." I took a deep breath. "I haven't seen her in a while. I think that I need to see her again tonight, or sometime soon." I needed to get to the bottom of why I would accept a case from Michael. I originally thought that I needed revenge on him, so I would try to throw it. Now I wasn't so sure. I needed to get to the bottom of my emotions on this one. All that I knew was that taking Michael on as a client was bringing up things that I hadn't thought about in years. Things buried deep within my psyche were coming to the surface. "I think that seeing your therapist is an excellent idea in general. You've been under a lot of pressure lately. Your job is probably one of the most stressful there is. I couldn't imagine always having people's lives in my hands all the time, the way that people place their lives in your hands. But why are you bringing that up now?" "I just think that it's a non sequitur. I ask you about Michael Reynolds, and you come back with needing to see a therapist. What's going on?" I couldn't talk to her about it. I couldn't talk to anyone about it. I could barely talk to my therapist about it. I almost felt that if I spoke up about what had happened to me at that fraternity house, that it would be true. That if I never said the word rape, that it didn't really happen. I raised my eyebrow and looked down at the newspaper article. It was a long article, filled with details of Judge Sanders' life. He was a judge who was appointed by President Clinton in 1994, rising through the ranks to become one of the most respected district